Hmm. Initially, when they brought out the news affecting students and their dependents, that from January 2024 they'll be reducing, okay, students will not be coming in with their dependents again. It raised eyebrows, and people were thinking, hope it won't spread across, but gosh, it just got to, it just migrated to hit skilled workers, carers. You see why I tell people if you want to come to the country and you feel you're led to do so, just plan towards it and achieve it. Don't wait. There's no perfect timing for anything under the sun. Some say, I will do it, I will do it, I will do it now. The UK government is also thinking that people come via this visa route, skilled worker visa, care route, to pack their generations and dependents into the UK as a means of entering the UK. Hmm. Are you still there thinking if you will come or not? They said they want to limit the number of dependents those carers, those skilled workers will be bringing into this country. It has been proposed, and you know things that are proposed in UK after deliberation, it gradually becomes reality. And that's how the one for the student visa was proposed, and it hit hard. Someone once said getting a visa into the UK feels like walking on eggshells. Is that true? Should we be thinking of moving to Canada? Should we be thinking of moving to US considering now that the US put a stop on nurses coming in? Hello guys, hello guys, hello guys. Hello guys, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever the time is over there. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Ta-da! If you're just stumbling on this channel for the first time, you're highly welcome. Please sit on the high table. Yeah. Consider smashing the red subscribe button, like the video, comment, and share. God bless you real good. And please don't consider it to be your last. I beg you. Don't consider it to be your last. Keep coming to watch my videos. Please don't forget like the video, comment, and share to others in other places who are interested in coming to the UK. Okay, now it is no longer news that the UK government has placed a ban on students intending to come in from January 2024 into the UK, banning them to bring not to bring in their dependents into the country. And also when they come in via the route, they will not be able to switch route to the skilled worker visa or any other visa route until they have completed their year of study. Mm. Now, people felt like when this came up, it's not going to affect skilled worker, it's not going to do this, it's not going to do that. Some people have been praying, those who have been fasting have been fasting, those who have been going to the altars have been going to the altars. But mm, 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 mm. It has been proposed to the UK government to consider reducing the level of immigration, the rate and the number of immigration of those coming via the skilled worker route into the UK. Now, let me clarify something because most persons have been asking me via the carer route and nurses route. And someone even came into my DM and told me she's not coming under the skilled worker route, that she's coming under the unskilled worker route as a carer. I was like, is this person listening to my video at all? Because A skilled worker and comprises of healthcare workers. Automatically, if you're a care assistant or a senior carer, that classifies you as a healthcare worker, which brings you under the skilled worker visa route. So, all carers, those intending carers thinking of coming into the UK, you're gonna make hay while the sun shines before it hits you hard. No, students can no longer bring in their dependents, and so somebody said recently, going into migrating into other countries has been very difficult. See, I'm smiling because I just got to know. My husband told me that Nigeria has made the immigration process easy for those intending to relocate into Nigeria as a country who are willing to naturalize there and settle in Nigeria. They've made it easy, and I heard there's even a sum of amount of money given by the Nigerian government to draw more persons to consider relocating to Nigeria. Please, guys, forgive me. Did I just laugh? No. I think birds are flying around. Okay. No, I did. Okay. So that's that for that. For those of you who don't know, I'm not speaking on Nigeria. Nigeria is my country. I'm a patriotic citizen of Nigeria. I love Nigeria. I grew in Nigeria. Besides, I'm a barrister and a solicitor of the Supreme Court of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. I've grown to a top rank of which Nigeria is my home. Come rain, come shine. If today I leave UK and get back to my country, I'm going back to practice as a lawyer. Once a lawyer, always a lawyer. So it's just been funny because most persons, the citizens themselves, are not really paid to stay back or protected. Their interests are not really protected to stay. Rather, you are luring people to come to your country to naturalize, to become citizens of Nigeria. Well, no problem. We are the giant of Africa, so they should feel free to come over to our country. Now, back to the gist. So, there's an advisory body. I'm going to make this as simple as possible. As simple as possible. Let me break it down. For those who feel they don't understand, I'll still slide into my DM to ask me. Now, I don't know if you guys want me to speak in pidgin, but I'll break it down to the barest minimum. There's an advisory council which advises the UK government. It's called the UK Immigration Advisory Council. Advises the government as matters that are relating to immigration. So they've come up with a proposal to the UK government because they are the ones who do this putting up. There's something we call the shortage occupation list, putting up fields which class as the shortage occupation list, which connotes that this field, for example, healthcare has always long for the longest time been under the shortage occupation list, which connotes that in this field there are short staff. That's it. To tell you that they are short staff, so they need more staff, overseas staff. Now, after the UK government has considered the fact to their own imaginations and believe that foreign students coming to this country via that route to bring in their dependents, their full generations into the country, that's what they're claiming, and using that route into the country. They've also noted that most people have decided to come via this carer route that originally they are not carers. They are not even empathetic. They're not even passionate about this care of a thing. They just use it as a thing to come into the country with their dependents. So they're thinking of cutting down such migration. So they've proposed that um, they should limit the number of immigrants coming into the country via this route. And also, what they will do by that is to train, empower people already in the country for these roles. Like the news has it that some place in England, to be precise, that over 65% are unemployed. currently jobless. Now, what are those people doing over there? You can recruit these people, train them for these roles, and employ them, giving them incentives and catchy pays to make them feel more comfortable for this role. Now, for it's no news that most British don't like this care work of a thing, and so they don't do it. That's why most immigrants come into this country to do such roles. But the government thought of it. These people advised the government that if they train them, give them a better pay, and make it catchy, people might be interested in UK to take up these roles. So there will be no need bringing people from outside UK, example Africa and so on. Whilst people, since this came up, people have been saying things like, people like you and I, not the government, have been saying things like, anyhow you make it juicy, the English people will not do care work. They will not like it. If you like, give them 50,000 pounds, they will not take it. That's their own talk, but that talk goes nowhere because you're not part of the advisory council advising the UK government. So, as we all know, this school route ban will take effect from January 2024, but this care worker limitation route, healthcare generally, they've not come up with, it's just a proposal, they've not come up with a final decision yet to put it in place and when it will take effect. That is why I say make hay while the sun shines. A stitch in time saves nine. So, guys, if you've been thinking of coming via the care route, this is the time you have to cross your T's, dot your I's, belt your belt, tie your bag, buckle your shoes, tie your shoelaces, and get coming. Because, hey, with the way things are going, it's, 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 it feels like it's cutting across every segment. And also, they came up with another proposal that says placing this now, even if they want to limit those coming in, even if they go as far as saying care workers not be able to come with their dependents and so on, they are still going to put a time limit, a time restriction to the duration at which a particular skill, a particular sector is going to stay up on the shortage occupation list. They are putting their house in order and collating the new fields that will come up to this year's shortage occupation list that will come up, and they are also removing some which have stayed on that shortage occupation list from the shortage occupation list so that you can no longer come in via the route. For an example, it's an example. If they take out the care route, they're going to place in the legal route so lawyers can now come in freely and easily. Meanwhile, carers can no longer come in. That's an example. Meanwhile, already they've said people via the skill route, they need to limit the immigration level of those coming in. So, if, for an example, the healthcare route, which is the, like, for example, care workers, because that's the, believe it or not, that's the most pumped route into the UK, aside student route. That route being on the shortage occupation list is gonna stay there up for, let's say, if it is, the duration will be 6 months, 1 year, 2 years. So after that, they close that route and you're not going to come in via the route. Now, if you're part of those saying if they close this, they open, fine. When they close the route, they open another route. Just note that the qualifications needed for this particular route closes with it. So the next one they are opening, you will need to align yourself with the qualifications for that route. Now, for an example, those who have been trying to come into the UK that have been writing IELTS for some time and have not made it, as example, nurses, because nurses, you must be able to pass your IELTS or the OET and your CBT for you to be able to come in to the UK to write your OSCE year, pass, and get your PIN and start practicing fully as a nurse, registered nurse in the UK. Those people, most of them have been able to, since they couldn't pass their IELTS, have been able to come via the care route through a limited band score for the IELTS or via the NARIC, which covers for jobs that are not so nurses, medical doctors, dentists, those ones you must make your IELTS to come into the UK. So these nurses come via this care route into the UK, come here, prepare for it, write here, pass, and at least they're earning the pay of a care worker, which is enough to cater for your stay in the UK, your rent, your bills, your feeding, it's enough. So they come in like that, bring their family, and later get their IELTS and pass over. Some of the nurses have still been able to get on. They've still been unable to get their IELTS, so they are still practicing as healthcare assistants in the UK, still living normal life, if you know what I mean. Not so much of a bourgeoisie kind of life, but the okay, normal, average UK resident life. So once that care route closes, it is going to also close with the NARIC. Now, don't get me wrong, NARIC doesn't expire. But what I'm saying is that for you to come via your field, which could be accounting, and so because most persons have been able to come in via this NARIC, via this care route into the country, and now swap into being nurses, doctors, accountants, whatever they studied back home. But if this care route closes, that means you have to make sure you pass IELTS. So whoever is standing on your way from you passing it, you just have to push that person off the village seat and come. So these are the disadvantages of it. Although people are of the opinion that carers are highly needed in the UK, so they're not going to close this route for anything. Mm. That is how we all thought that the UK benefits from the students' pay because students pay huge amount of money coming in with their dependents and so on. Mm. That they're not going to stop. They're making money out of it. But now they will tell. They said they know stopping that student dependence route will actually limit students coming in. Because what's the point? My husband traveling to study 2, 3 years and I'm not with him. I'll say, hey, for young marriage, we go nowhere. You go nowhere. If we don't go together, we stay back in Nigeria. So things like that will limit some people from coming into UK, which the UK will lose out on such school fees, money, and so on. But they say they don't care, even if even if. So considering all these facts, the UK can just decide to come up with anything tomorrow, with anything today. So start preparing yourself. I keep telling people not everybody will jackpot. This jackpot. Do you know before I moved here, I never really thought long about it. Okay, when I conceived the idea of relocating, it took me 3 to 6 months to find myself here. I never wanted to leave Nigeria because I've built up my career to a higher rank in the government that I never wanted to leave except leaving and coming back to Nigeria. So, not everybody wants to jackpot, but I keep telling people for you to jackpot, to those who are not Nigerians, who don't know what jackpot means, sorry, I can't help you. For those of you who want to jackpot, you must be sure that God is leading you, my people. Because life is not all that rosy over here. You must be sure God is leading you. Don't do it because everyone is doing it. So, but people keep saying if you stayed in a point or in a position for so long, in a location, in a country for so long, and you feel you're not growing beyond the level at which you are, relocation can spark up such growth, which I believe relocation can make you become the better person. Uh, for you to be able to see the other side of you never knew you had, the skills and potentials in you. Some people feel, using my country as an example, I love Nigeria to the core, but it's just like things are getting difficult. The amount of money I used to feed in Nigeria, if I feed that with such an amount of money in UK, I'll be living large. I will be living large. In Nigeria, 100K is not enough to cater for my family. Yes, for feeding. It's not enough. You say you're not paying bills. Do you know how much is my light bill in Nigeria? I, so when people talk about, I guess maybe that's because of the area at which I'm living, because somebody staying somewhere around that area pay outside that area pay lesser. But why can't I be my own in my own home country and can't benefit or enjoy in a good environment? Why will I be in my country and still live in the slum? It doesn't make sense. So for me to be able to afford the kind of life I have in the UK with small amount of money, it's freaking expensive in my home country. Loaf of bread 1,500. So sometimes when you see people relocating, they're not just relocating for the jackpot spirit. They're relocating for their kids to give them free education. Some because of health conditions of their children and loved ones, they relocate here. I know of a man who came into the UK and brought himself so low as a carer because he wanted to be able to bring in his family for his child who has a serious health challenge that they've taken around country Nigeria. And you know, flying her abroad will cost you so much. So he's here for his family to be here and she has that free healthcare. There are so many countless reasons. So I don't want people to see it as a spree of relocating. You must have genuine reasons. And if God is actually leading you, He will definitely see you through, even if the first stages people get into the UK. Some people tell this as the wilderness journey, but not all cases are the same. Yours can be the favor journey, you know. So try as much as possible to be sure God is leading you, His hands is in the business, and policies can even change for your good. Policies can even change for you. So with this, I'm just trying to let those who have been trying to come and are slowing down, having like if it's just my husband alone, we would have been here like 2 years ago. But I've been dragging feet, I've been having cold feet, and so on. So if you're part of the type giving your husband cold feet, like I was some time back, just know that time waits for nobody. Okay? Time waits for nobody. And the UK comes up with different policies and so on. Okay, guys, just to also, before I conclude, just to let people know, I don't give out jobs. I am not a recruiter. Neither am I an immigration expert. Neither am I an immigration lawyer in this country. I am only bringing out informations as I get them and as I read from the gov.uk website, and when articles comes out, paper publications, I just bring the news to your doorstep. That somebody even came into my DM and told me, "Can I pay you money to give me a job?" I felt insulted. Yeah, I felt insulted because I've said it countless times on my channel. I don't give jobs. If I get to know of any, I link out to you. Like a recruiter contacted me and told me to give her persons who are willing to come in, because these recruiters, when they give persons to these companies, care homes and care companies, they have a percentage the care companies pay them, so you don't even have to pay a recruiter. I keep saying it, stop paying for COS. If you pay for COS, you will suffer when you get into this country, except you have a God that answers by fire when you call, except God intervenes for you. So that is that for that. With this, I've come to the end of this video. Please make hay while the sun shines. Don't wait until the route closes and is now route for professionals like medical doctors, and you know medical doctor or you know a lawyer, you can't come in, then you start crying. You have all the time now. And I keep telling people, when you're sending your CVs, don't just send 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and you say you've sent. Bombard them. Before I got into the UK, I sent over 1,000 CV. Over 1,000 CVs across board. So keep sending CVs. Do it as a major job. A day, send nothing less than 30. Nothing less than 30. Be browsing. Research, okay? With this, I've come to the end of this video. You know I'm a #1 researcher on the streets of YouTube. And try as much as possible. Don't forget to hit the red subscribe button. Like the video. Comment, guys. Comment. It doesn't bite, you know. Comment and share. God bless you. real good. I love you all. I love you guys. I love you guys. I love you all. From me to you, kisses. Love you. Thank you. Bye bye.